Hey, welcome back to Soda City Jams. Today we are hanging out with my very good friend Matthew Hubbard. Say hello to the camera.
Hello, I'm Matthew Hubbard.
Oh, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good, good. So, Matthew, you play music, right?
I dabble in music for most of my life now.
Most of your life.
Yes.
What was the first instrument you ever played?
It was a clarinet in 7th grade. It was given to me by my aunt who didn't have a mouthpiece, so I had to collect a mouthpiece from my grandmother on the other side of my family.
No.
So it was a hodgepodge clarinet.
Did you want to play the clarinet, or was
I wanted to play saxophone because it was much cooler.
Well, I was going to say sax is very cool.
But
how did the clarinet become the substitute?
Because that's what was available, and nobody wanted to spend.
Oh,
any
that was
money.
the instrument
Yeah.
people. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah.
It's not like that was the spot that was available. It's just,
Well, nowadays I know they do. Well, for years now, they've done that rental program.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure that was available at the time.
Yeah, but even then, that would have cost money versus something
Yeah.
sitting there. Yeah, I gotcha. So, what did you love about the clarinet?
I mean, I can't tell you that I loved it, but it was fun just learning how to play music. I mean, it was just very interesting to me, and learning rhythm and how I knew how to read music, like notation.
Yeah.
At one point in my life, but I can still do it now, but it's going to take some time.
Yeah. Can't do it as fast.
No. And if there's more than one note on there, then...
Well, I would think just understanding the fundamentals, you know, how a musical alphabet works, how scales work, all that.
Yeah, it definitely gave me a knowledge of music theory.
Yeah.
That I could kind of, sort of keep up with maybe a piano player.
Yeah.
But it gave me a kind of an overall
basis
to build.
You know, a foreign language to you when people talk about it or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because I remember I came at theory completely backwards. Took me many years to understand theory.
I remember when I started learning guitar, and that was 8th grade. Like, it was like the next year.
Okay.
My guitar teacher at the time was like, well, he was a cellist, so he was a professional musician, and he could read music.
Yeah.
He gave me the option of continuing down the notation, C clef, G clef stuff. And I'm just like, no, let's do it the easy way. Because when you're 14, you just want to do the easy.
You just want results.
Yeah, absolutely.
How old are you, Matthew? I forgot.
I'm 39.
39. Okay. Well, that makes a difference only because, like, I'm about to turn 45 next month, and you know, you just remember it's so different now with like the internet. You can look up any tab. And,
yes. Yeah. I remember way back in the day, going to the grocery store with Mom.
Yeah.
And going to Guitar One magazine with, you know, Immigrant Song or something in there that I wanted to learn. And that's how I learned it.
Well, yeah. It's like back then, you had a tab. You had to do it by ear. Or I guess tab still, but you had to buy a book.
Right.
You had to actually buy that.
I remember getting the Smashing Pumpkins' Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness tab book. That thing was like this thick. It was a double album of just like 2 or 3 guitar parts. It's like all these intricate guitar parts.
Yeah.
And some piano. And it was just mind-blowing. I think I learned maybe 3 songs out of it and just gave up.
Well, I remember one that like I never bought it at first because I didn't realize what it was, but what I call the Bible, that giant white Beatles book that's the complete score. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah.
But I used to see it all the time at Barnes & Noble, and I'm just like, $100 for this one book? It has every song, but that's jinky to me, you know, at the time, because I just had like piano guitar chord books. So I was like, I don't care about this for this much money. And then one day I had a friend that had one open, and I saw that it had all the tabs and every instrument with the notation, you know, and it's got the complete score, like, yeah. And I just remember having to obtain that book, you know, afterwards.
So there is...
it's just different, you know, it's a different generation now.
Yeah.
Because you have so many, like, the YouTube videos. There's just so many different things we didn't have.
There's a really cool thing that Beck Hansen made maybe 10 years ago or so.
Beck Hansen?
Yeah, Beck. So it's called The Song Reader. So
I never hear the last name.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, some people think Jeff Beck but it's
okay,
Beck
yeah.
But he put together an album of work, just sheet music.
Yeah.
It's called The Song Reader, and he didn't record any of it.
Yeah.
Eventually he did. He got a lot of musicians to record some of the stuff for him. But the story behind that is that he discovered that the album Odelay had one of those books that you could find in a store, and he's like, well, how? It's just like a bunch of like samples and sounds. Like there's really not a whole lot of instrumentation on the album at all. But he found it fascinating, and then it gave him the idea of the Song Reader.
When you said that, my first thought was like, he was going through Frank Zappa's life and realized there was something more pretentious that got left out of his life. Like, what could I do?
Right.
I love Frank Zappa, by the way. That was not a dig. It was a playful jam.
So, would you credit, you mentioned the Smashing Pumpkins tab book, would you credit Smashing Pumpkins as an inspiration of yours, or were they just a band you really liked at the time?
Yeah, I mean, middle school and early high school, I like the Smashing Pumpkins. A lot of those old grunge and alternative 90s bands were inspirational to me. And really, as I grew older, I started to discover more 90s bands that I also liked.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've kind of been experiencing that lately. Like, even with, like, John has introduced me to a lot of new stuff, even though...
I've been listening to Sap on repeat.
Oh, yeah, that's a good album.
And and even though I may know and listen to like Nirvana and Alice in Chains, like it's like he's opened me up to a whole new world of just different stuff. Like I had never watched the full version of the MTV Unplugged of Nirvana's concert, and so now I keep it on repeat just because like he introduced me to that, and it's so iconic and so good. But I had never really, I never got into it until I met him, and like Alice in Chains, we've been listening to them a lot lately, and it's funny, like I may have known of these bands that were like from the 90s, and maybe I've heard like their one radio hit or something like that. Not Nirvana specifically, but just any band. Like I may have heard one or two of their big hits, but I'm just now doing deeper dives and discovering more of their catalog. So it's cool. It's obviously
it is. There's more. There's a lot of music.
Yeah, happening. That's right. And it's like
and all over. There was so much going on. I mean, the rap and hip hop in the 90s is the best too.
Oh God!
In my opinion, like there was just so much happening.
We met the
I
far
was
side.
genuinely saying like Kurt Cobain blew his brains out and took music with him. Like, you know, it's just kind of not that having the good stuff sent to him, but like that was an era that just
there was a change.
Yeah.
Well, John always says there was before Smells Like Teen Spirit and there was after Smells Like Teen Spirit.
It was one of those albums. At least in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I remember. It's like, here's this weird thing that you can't understand, but it's ours, damn it, and we're taking it. We're running with it. I'm in 7th grade.
Right. I think they were just so wildly successful, and they made so much money for corporate people.
Yeah.
That they figured out a way to harness that for themselves.
This is Eliza. She's joining us tonight.
Don't want to not introduce.
I was looking
off, member of the band.
Well, a couple minutes ago, I was looking off camera because she was sniffing around the ring light, and I was afraid it almost looked like she was going to knock it over. So I was like,
she knew what to do though.
She did. She handled it with grace.
That's right.
And
I mean, if she was a puppy, all of this would be
destroyed.
Yeah.
So where did 8th grade Matthew go after that with the guitar? What's your musical journey to this moment, sitting at this table right here with us? Give us the quick rundown.
Man, okay, so I mean, I took lessons for like 5 years until my teacher ran out of material. He was just like, now you just go and figure stuff out.
I've never heard that from a teacher before.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, now you have wings, you can go, you can fly.
Wow.
So
was that scary for you?
Not necessarily. I was pretty confident in my abilities, but I mean, as he was right, as I practiced and listened to more music, I got into stuff like Miles Davis and John Coltrane and John McLaughlin and Wes Montgomery and those guitar players. Just different genres of music and trying to kind of wrap my head around how those players play and roll that into my own style.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still it's really just still happening. And when I went to college here at USC, I started playing with people a lot more, which was a huge.
So you weren't playing with people up until that point?
Yeah, I had some friends, but they weren't as good as I was. So it's hard to. You kind of have to regress a little bit to help people keep up. But when I got to college, there were people that were better than me. So as soon as I started playing with people that were better than I was, then I could actually learn some things from people.
Well, it's not even when you're playing with people under you that you're regressing. It's just you're not doing the things that you could do.
You're holding back.
Yeah.
So what did you major in college? Was it music related?
In a degree, so I have a bachelor in media arts
at
USC. Part of that is sound design.
Right.
A lot of stuff you're working on, videography and animation and graphic design.
Okay.
And I'm doing that for the museum now. So,
oh wow.
So building exhibits with media.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my job. So I mean, I'm pretty new. I've only worked for 6 months. So there's some things that I'm working on, and if I can get funding for it, it'd be super cool.
Yeah.
That has a huge hand in music. I mean, especially as technology is growing and
well, AR technology, especially like festivals and concerts and stuff, people really like that because everybody's on their damn phone all the time anyway. But if you throw some AR in it, then they can also experience the music and the musician through that.
That's that
as
immersive mood. Yeah.
So there's that, but the AR is something that I've just started doing recently. So I'm currently augmented reality.
Okay, augmented reality.
I'm working on an associate's degree in computer science for applications programming. So
wow, that's fantastic.
Nice.
Something that I'm working towards. I could use my bachelor's degree and stuff like that towards that goal.
Yeah,
but
that's cool.
I still love my music and I do it, and that can all work together.
That's right. You can bring multiple things to the
table. I mean, I'm
You're
just trying
to
just trying to expand my skill set. And they know that I can make music, and they're just like, well, if we need a track to be made, we can do that.
Yeah,
sure can.
Versatile. That's important, and that's like very. There's a growing demand, I think, in today's world for versatile skills, especially in relation to technology.
Right. I mean, you just have to be able to sell yourself.
Right. That's
with a 9-to-5 job. I mean, that's basically what it is.
You just have to be a sociopath. Climb to the top.
You're not wrong.
I know.
So, do you sing?
I sing a little bit. I don't really care for my voice a whole lot. It's somewhere around Steve Malkmus and I don't know. Who's the Dinosaur Jr. guy? I mean, it's like
just a voice.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of lazy.
Do those background vocals.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wavering on the note.
What about songwriting?
I think it's harder. Well, I was about to say, I think it's harder to sing unless you have an actual desire to sing.
I don't necessarily do, but songwriting, I do like to write songs.
And when we say that, you do lyrics and music, or
I do. So I have an album online on Spotify. You can look it up there for free, or you can buy it on my Bandcamp, and I do sing on that.
Okay, wow! I wasn't aware of that at all. What's it called?
Well, it's that over there. So Matthew Wills Hubbard, Songs for Hand Washing Distance and Setting It All on Fire.
Songs for Hand Washing Distance and Setting It All on Fire. Check it out on Spotify and Bandcamp.
Yep. It's on any screen.
Well, any digital platform. But on Bandcamp, you can financially support and purchase
and
it.
you can buy Florida t-shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. These two
another gig coming in 20-something.
These two were in a blues band together for a minute called McFlorida, and that one gig is on John's YouTube channel. Fun fact.
There for all to see. I would have been okay with that gig if I hadn't popped so many strings.
You guys were killing it. I mean, genuinely,
it just kept killing my momentum every time I had to change a string.
That was a fun night.
Yeah, there were some very interesting moments.
Yeah,
Go watch the show.
Yeah, go watch it.
Bonus points for anything you pick
Oh
up.
my goodness. We got our #1 fan here
So
tonight.
speaking of bands, how many bands did you do before Florida?
Before
What was your
Florida,
band situation?
So the first band I was in here in Columbia was the Funk Stylists.
That's great.
We did not play funk music, by the way. It was like 90s.
Clever catch.
Yeah, it was like 90s pop rock band, and
Okay.
it was fun. John Sinclair, who you know, he
Yeah,
was
from
a
the-
drummer, and Keith Barnes was a guitar player. I played bass in that band, and Ramon Dickerson was a singer and guitar player. Ramon is a pretty renowned chef these
Yeah.
days. So, I mean, if you follow him, he doesn't post a whole lot, but when he does, it looks delicious.
Wow.
That was that. What else? I had some kids, so I kind of fell off for a little while. Pastel Owl was probably the next band that I was
Great
in.
name.
Yeah,
That
these
was,
are cool names.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a really fun band. We did it's like R&B and rock and roll music. So we
You recordings of any of this stuff?
we never recorded anything. But we had a few shows, and then everybody moved away.
Yeah.
Yep.
It sucks. I would like to hear this as we're talking about it.
Yeah, I mean that we were very good.
Yeah.
I mean that was a good band. It's a shame we didn't record a single song.
Now, how old were you when you were doing that?
I mean I was probably 30.
Okay.
So there was
10 years ago.
yeah, but it was a time where my daughter I could leave the house for a few hours.
Yeah.
Not have to be there to just support my wife.
I mean, nobody pulled out like a cell phone back then or something if they wanted to. Yeah.
I was in like a post-punk math rock band called So and So's briefly.
Math rock band?
Yeah.
Explain to the viewers
Now,
what
is
a math
that
rock band
tool
is.
related at all? You know, Tool
Sort
does
of, but
okay.
it's Tool does a lot of time signature type
that
stuff.
geometry that they incorporate into their music videos.
So and So's did some of that. There was some time signature stuff. They kicked me out of the band because they have a problem with people with children. I don't think they really wanted me around. No offense, I love those guys.
Yeah.
But
What, were you stopping them from getting laid or something?
I don't know
what was going on with the kids.
I don't know what happened, but
Crashing your style.
they had their heads were very big, so it's
Yeah.
particularly one of them, and I'm not going to mention them. But they
initials are.
they decided that having somebody with other responsibilities would
Yeah.
hold them back,
Wasn't-
and
Well,
they
What hold them back? I mean, have they been nationally signed since?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
I'm just curious because, like,
Are these guys even worth?
well, as a musician, when he says that, my first thought is like, well, did you ever drop any commitment to them because of this stuff?
Right.
Like, did
No.
you do your thing that you were supposed to do and you had signed on to do? You know?
So you strike me as a loyal guy. Like you,
I think
when
we
you
should-
said
yeah.
the commitment thing, like you strike me as someone who is committed and who honors his commitments.
Yeah, I mean that is a quality that I have. So
Yeah.
It's
I
just,
will
if I
stick
had
around.
$1 for every coked up musician I met that was supposed to be like famous in 2 weeks, that's like flipping burgers somewhere 10 years later. Yeah.
But I mean, I was my feelings were hurt initially, but eventually I was, they felt bad about it.
Yeah.
At least the guys that I cared for,
Yeah.
and they were just like sorry about that. And it was
Well,
like,
screw that. We don't even want to
yeah.
talk about these guys.
It's
anymore.
it's fine. But anyway,
Yeah.
so after that, shortly after that, I mean, McFlorida happened.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay.
And I knew Trey Black from working at Mellow Mushroom, and he wanted me to play guitar in some punk band with
Yeah.
Bubbles Rubella. And
That's
how
the
I
one that ended up being the
I
one they're
think
doing now.
yeah, Warfare Check. Yeah,
That's it. Warfare
And that's
Check.
punk.
that's punk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I knew Trey, and he introduced me to Bubs, and then Bubs introduced me to you, and then that's how that happened. And then eventually,
Florida's illustrious career began.
right? But eventually, Bubbles asked me to play bass in Warfare Check because they didn't have a bass player.
Cool.
I was like, sure, yeah, I'll do that. It's
So
I'll
you
come play
consistently
music.
doing that right now?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah, I've noticed that you've been sharing their stuff, so I figured you were in that, and I know an album just got released.
Yeah, we do have an album. I should have brought some in here, but
I know I saw it on the Scratch and Spin page, and then I saw that you had shared it and Bubbles had shared it. So.
yep, and it's at Papa Jazz too.
Oh,
Is
cool.
it all recorded or how
Just
does it
$9.
how do
Yeah.
you do all the recording?
It's at
Jam room?
Jam Room.
Yeah. I love the jam room.
Great
Who produced it for you?
It's self-produced. Yeah,
We had to have an engineer. Who was in the room?
Jay.
Jay.
Oh, I love Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's
Yeah, I like
great.
him. I love Zach too. Zach did
Yeah.
my record. He's a great guy.
The Jam Room is just a great place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Great
When I
people,
walked
great
in,
vibes.
he had one of those. These little
Oh, the
oranges.
oranges. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I know that little
It was
thing.
like to be able to turn the camera and show it. It's a little orange amp for everybody that knows.
It's not that big.
If
But
you know,
it's
you
so
know.
loud.
It's big.
So,
They're very cute.
your current relationship to the bass guitar, has that been, I guess, I don't know the word, deepened, I guess, with playing in a punk band and being on bass? Like, what's your relationship with the bass guitar been like over the years?
Sure. Well, I've had that bass guitar since like 2001. That exact same one. It's just a
2001.
simple Dean bass.
That's a long
It-
time.
I don't even know what kind of, it's some kind of like humbucking pickup on there. I don't even know what it is, but
Is
It
it
does- it
active
does
or
the job.
passive?
it is passive. And, well, I mentioned earlier, I played bass in the Funk Stylist. So I played
Right.
some bass and I played a little bit of
If it
guitar.
doesn't mean anything because it wasn't a funk band.
It wasn't a funk band, no. But yeah, playing in the punk band, and it's my first like hardcore, old school hardcore punk, and I don't know much about it. So I mean, walking into that, and they were just like, "We're gonna play the songs."
You don't know much about punk? Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying? Okay.
So
What
you
was your
know,
punk experience?
I
What
mean,
was-
my punk experience is like at the drive-in, with Fugazi.
Or something like that, or?
Like old punk? You're
Yeah, I
like
was
the
gonna say,
60s or
like-
70s?
No,
punk?
I mean, yeah, it's just kind of alt punk, like post punk type
Like
stuff.
Blink 182?
No.
Well, are they
I like
called, like,
Green
what's
Day.
their
Well,
genre?
the
Like,
Clash is like. considered
is that
punk rock
post punk?
band.
Like Blink 182? Is that,
I
or
don't
would be
know.
like
That's
alternative?
Hey, write in the comments below. What is the,
What do you think
What do you think
Blink-182 is?
182 is?
Well, when I googled them, it says rock. But you and I were having a conversation earlier this week about like, are they
They're like-
post punk? Are they alternative?
They're like pop.
It's
punk.
a
Pop punk.
It's
That's
pop
a better
punk, yeah.
pop punk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't know. I don't know.
That's
about
like a
punk
pop
either.
song, but you sing like.
It's real catchy.
Like you
It
don't.
is pop.
catchy.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
don't care about how good your voice is. You know, I think is the catch.
And they're not all like ACAB.
Yeah.
They're not being controversial in any way.
Right. It's fun. I mean, it
It
is
is fun.
catchy. Like
Yeah.
you said, it's fun. Anybody can dance to it.
Music's fun anyway.
Yeah, it's one of those songs where if it comes on, everybody's gonna sing along. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
work sucks.
Yeah.
We all know
That's
the
a
word.
relatable
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
the words. That's the thing. Like I really,
Well, I think-
all I hear is.
Well, that work sucks. I know is one of the has continued to be one of the most relatable lines
Yeah.
throughout the
That's right.
years.
She left me roses on the stairs.
Although to be fair, I was very
Surprise,
pretentious.
just let me know she
Cares,
cares.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was very pretentious when that band came out. So.
Well, to
grown
be
a lot
honest,
since then.
that's like the only radio hit of theirs that I'm really familiar with. What's My Age Again? That's what the album's called, I think. So,
Yeah.
you know. If it comes on, I probably won't change the station. I mean, I do like that song.
I'm gonna try to kill Travis Barker.
We did. It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
It was intense, man.
Weird. It was a weird night.
So, and you played rhythm guitar. I know you played rhythm in the blues band.
I think we
Lead,
shared.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, we-
lead / rhythm. So, what's kind of
Sometimes we
your...
play lead at the same time, and it's just
Yeah.
like a cacophony of
Yeah.
That's right.
guitar.
You two complemented each other so well.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you guys play together beautifully.
I like the Allman Brothers a lot, so
I think you guys
I've
are...
never been afraid of two leads going at one time as long as it sounds good. You know, obviously there can be
Right.
like stuff that doesn't sound good. I always thought we sounded good.
You did. What I noticed, like during some of the rehearsals, like sometimes I would come and hang out, like for the dogs and the food, and like some of the rehearsals, like you guys were able to sync up easily because your talent, you were both bringing talent to the table, so and like experience, you know.
For sure.
So like either of you could start something and the other one could just sync up, and I feel like you guys synced up pretty well.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of complimenting, like you know, it's just like and just a simple head nod or you know, just looking at somebody and it's like your turn, and then now I know that he's going to compliment me, and then you know, it's just keeping that ear open.
Right, and that's so important to have, especially on stage, like that communication. It's important to be able to trust each other.
Yes, that one glorious time.
Seriously, gotta watch it.
I don't want to do ever, just for the fun of it.
I should have a reunion for
It was fun.
one show.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to ask real quick, you know, before we kind of wrap some of it up, like one question I was curious about, you know, you play a lot of different instruments. When did you get really curious into wanting to do the drums and the bass and the guitar and the clarinet, you know?
I mean, you mentioned earlier composition, so when I was fairly interested in building my own songs and having a completed product. And this is, again, something in college where I discovered I could get one of those little M audio boxes. I can plug one or two mics into it or an instrument. And then just overdubbing just stuff. So, I mean, I have some old recordings of songs. Some of them are pretty good, some are not so great. But it's just experimenting with different sounds, and, you know, I wanted to have a full band on some of these tracks, and I have some really strange ideas. And if you listen to that stuff online, some of it is really kind of weird. That, you know, nobody's really interested in playing. So it's like, well, if nobody's going to do it, then I'm just going to put it together by myself, and then just like throw it out there. It's just I wanted to learn all of it. I wanted to be the jack of all trades. You know, master of none.
It definitely makes you, have an easier time sliding in and playing with people when you can do multiple things. So, I always thought it was a valuable skill. I always wish I could go back and, first of all, start guitar earlier, but like definitely other instruments like the piano and the drums. Like, if you can do either one of those, you can always get paid to be a musician.
Something I was curious about is you were saying, you were talking about your digital art, media arts and stuff. Are you at all interested in producing music videos or playing around with that?
Well, for Warfare Check, I'm going to throw one together.
Okay.
So that'll probably come around in like a month.
Cool.
Next week I got Trey to come and just video us, and then, you know, I have to kind of make them play the same song over and over again while listening to the track song. Like, it's going to be an experience for them, I'm sure. But some of them probably have never done anything like that. But
when you say video, were you talking like
just a phone. I mean, it's
like, for lack of a better term, like the way MTV used to be, you know, like where it would be a video.
Yeah,
you know,
like cinematic.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Well, this one, it won't be like plot based. Like there won't be a character doing things. Anything. It's just going to be.
It won't just be like the band standing up.
Right. Yeah. There'll be other images happening.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, we'll look out for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll post it on the page and on our things.
We will, for sure. And what do you have coming up? Anything?
I guess Warfare Check.
Yeah, Warfare Check has 2 shows this month.
Hey, Bubbles.
Yeah, so we have a show with Negative Approach and Soda City Riot at New Brooklyn Tavern.
When is that?
July 19th.
It's like
It's like Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Yeah. It's like 19th to 20th, but it's definitely a Tuesday.
Okay.
And then then we'll be at Art Bar Saturday the 30th.
Okay.
Of July?
Yeah.
Oh, these are July? Okay.
You'll have to check that out.
What all's on the bill for that? I don't remember.
I have no idea.
I really don't
know what's going on. I never know about
it's
Art
like
Bar.
That
like they'll tell us we go on at 9, but then I would show up and they'll be like, "No, you're 11:30." And be like, "I don't want to do that." Too bad. But Those are coming up.
We
I know.
love Gina and Kevin, by the way.
Yeah, what's up? And then we're planning on doing a Halloween set of Joy Division as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm playing guitar on that.
Nice.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, we'll have to look out for that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll tag all those events and put them in the description.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can check Warfare Checkout as well.
Yeah. What are the links for
Okay.
that?
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
Okay.
Bandcamp.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for
Thank
having
the
me.
lovely puppy again. Now that she's
And
all
Eliza,
right.
thank you.
Eliza.
Hey, that pops right up.
Oh, you were just waiting for the loves.
Thanks for jamming with us.
Thanks.